Hey, I'm Rowdy Bricko with Green Ops. I'm out here at the Secure America Now Training Center, and I've got a couple new things with me. I've got the new double alpha holster that has a ball joint, and then I have the new Johnny Glock's Vex trigger for the Timney on a Glock 17. So just gonna come out here and see how these things work together. Haven't dry fired them or anything ahead of time, so they're going to get their first test in live fire. All right, let's just do some draws, see how the holster releases, see how the angle is set up, and then do just some quick preps and dry fire presses of the trigger before I get on it. All right, so pretty good initial impressions. Let's get to some shooting. .101 draw, 24 split. One draw, 23 split. All right, a couple 2-shot draws. Let's try some bill drills. See how quickly I can get used to this new trigger. All right, so first time doing that with this holster and gun, 207. That's pretty good for me, so I'll take that. Okay, I'll just loosen that release a little bit. Yeah, a little wild there. All right, so now we're back at 25. Just work on some slow fire shooting, recovering the trigger during recoil, and then just see what this trigger's like as I'm putting some attention into what I do. All right, let's talk about this double alpha holster. It's not very pretty. See, I covered it up with the sticker right away, but it mounts well to the belt. I think the height adjustment is fine. Most competitors will probably run it as low as possible. This is much more comfortable against my leg than the aluminum plate of the boss hanger, and the padding on the back here is a little more ergonomically shaped. All the retention comes from the trigger device or the trigger guard mechanism. So you turn this up and you get a ton of tension. Turn it down and you get very little. The body of the holster it's not really in contact with the gun, at least not on my Glock holster. The firearm sits pretty loosely in there, and again, all the retention's on their trigger device. So, but do I think it's a positive? Yes. I totally love the ball joint and being able to adjust things exactly how I want. So I probably will trade some of the stuff that I was like about the holster body for the ball joint. But the main reason I was at the range today was to look at the Vex trigger from Johnny Glock's as installed on a Timney trigger. So I've got two Gen 5 Glock 17s that I shot some drills with. I haven't been doing a ton of personal practice lately, but new holster, new trigger, one-shot draws are the same, bill drills are the same, shooting at distance is the same. One of the things that I really liked about this trigger is, or the trigger shoe, is I didn't notice it. It never intruded at all into my shooting. Occasionally, you know, the kind of known reset issues with the Timney will creep in, but not all the time. But this definitely, it has a different feel to it when you're just dry firing it, but it disappears in live fire, and that's something that I was super happy about. And then, I don't know if I can zoom in. So it has some texture along the safety tab and the trigger face. I was worried that that would bother me in comparison to the smooth metal that's on the stock Timney trigger, but it didn't bother me at all. I was worried I was going to be sanding that smooth, but my finger pad felt great underneath there. So would I recommend it? You've got 150, 130 bucks here, depending on what sale you get. You've got $100 here, and so you've got a $200 plus Glock trigger when you're in here. The benefits are you have a nicer trigger. You can run all of the stock springs in the upper. I was lighting off CCI small rifle primers today, so no issues about primer hardness. But if you have a Timney trigger and you're hemming and hawing a little bit about just how it feels and what it's doing, then I honestly do suggest you try adding the Johnny Glock's trigger to your Timney, the trigger shoe specifically. I think it's a good adjustment, and for me the most telling thing was that it just disappeared under my finger. I didn't notice it the first time using it, totally cold, and to me that's a good endorsement.